Madam Clerk. You ready?
Commissioner Dodge?
Here.
Commissioner Rice?
Here.
Commissioner Lieberman?
Welcome to our Tuesday, March the 7th meeting. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to move right to our county engineer. Paul?
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Administrator, ladies and gentlemen. We have a couple of items today, actually. Resolution 23-0326 to authorize an agreement with the City of Centerville for the 2023 Alex Bell Road and Loop Road Concrete and Resurfacing Project. And then we have a late item, Resolution 339, is to set the dates of March 28th, 2023 for the viewing and April 4th, 2023 for the hearing for the Social Row Road Project, Phases 1 and 2 in Washington Township and the City of Centerville.
Move to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I do have a question on this. I've got, my paperwork says 0339, and then I got another blue one that says 0340. Okay, so we want to say it's 0340. No.
No.
339.
Yeah.
So you were right.
Emily took care of me.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
she
right.
took care of it.
I just wanted to make sure.
All right.
That's all. Thank
And
you.
with that, with your permission, I need to go to another
All
meeting.
right. Okay. You may go. We'll
You want
miss
it
you
back where it
though.
was?
Yeah,
Judy?
yeah.
We will miss you. All right, Clerk of Courts.
Thank you, Commissioners. Under the Clerk of Courts, we have Resolution 327, authorize a purchase from SHI International Corp. Of an automated review process for the e-filing system in an amount not to exceed $232,242.
I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will say this about e-filing. All the attorneys love it. What about you? Do you like it? You like the old-fashioned way better? It is. It is. Almost everybody does e-filing now, so that's wonderful that we can do that. County Administrator.
Thank you, Commissioners. Under the County Administrator, under the Clerk's Office, approve the minutes of the meetings on March 2nd, 2023. Resolution 328, approve of bills, and that list is available in the Clerk's Office.
Mhm, move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Administrative Services. Tyler.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. It is a relatively light day in Administrative Services, beginning with Resolution 329. This is the approval of personnel actions. This list is available in the Clerk's Office. 330 authorizes a price agreement with Controlled Force for violent intruder response training for the Risk, Safety, and Emergency Management Department through December 31st of 2023. 331 authorizes the purchase of an FC-6000 field computer and equipment for GeoShack for the Montgomery Soil and Water Conservation District in an amount not to exceed $24,219.81. 332 solicits bids for fire hydrants and repair parts price agreement for the Environmental Services Department. 333 rejects the bid for air shoring equipment for the Risk, Safety, and Emergency Management Department. And the last two resolutions authorize agreements. First is 334 with HDR Engineering Incorporated for professional consulting services for the Solid Waste Management Plan update for the Environmental Services Department in an amount not to exceed $189,600 to October 31st of 2025. And last is 335 with the City of Dayton for a concourse gallery display at the Dayton International Airport in an amount not to exceed $1,000 through December 31st, 2024, with options to renew.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioners, I would say on Resolution 330, if I could, this is part of a multiple phase plan to you to make sure that the security, both for the protection of the public and for the protection of our employees throughout the county. There's a series of recommendations that Tyler and Jocelyn will be bringing forth around security recommendations for the entire county. And so this is the first phase to protect our employees and give both a virtual training and a live training. And then we will be looking at ways to somewhat secure the building and the entryways to protect the public and our employees. So thank you, Commissioners, for supporting this resolution.
Environmental Services. Did I miss somebody? No. Yeah, Matt.
All right. Good afternoon, Commissioners. For Environmental Services, we have Resolution 336, solicit a request for qualifications for professional consulting services for the Western Regional Water Reclamation Facility Master Plan Project. And Resolution 337, accept the subdivider's contract from Derek Muncie for the Taywood Sanitary Extension Development.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Has anybody had a chance to see, I think it was on LinkedIn, that picture looking over the project down at Western? It is fascinating to see all the work they're doing.
The drone footage is
Yeah.
even better. It's because it's like a live video.
I don't think
So,
I've seen that yet. But
Yeah, the drone footage is
just
pretty
the
cool.
picture is like, oh my gosh, that's great.
They have a camera on top of Dryden, so they can do time lapse. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
they have some pretty cool
Huh.
photos up there.
They do, yeah, okay. In case anybody, wants to see what's happening down there, it is pretty fascinating. Okay, Human Services, Jerry.
Good afternoon. We have one resolution, Resolution 338, to authorize the delegation of activities agreement with St. Vincent de Paul for emergency shelter services in an amount not to exceed $102,251 of fiscal year 2022 ESG funds through December 31st of 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Commissioners, just as an FYI, we are seeing more individuals in and out of our shelters lately. Jerry and her team, Jessica, have put in place some emergency dollars to allocate to St. Vincent so that we have to go into the emergency shelter response, that we'll be prepared for that. Rents are incredibly high right now, so we're seeing, just normal working class people that are struggling to pay rent. So we thank you as part of this piece, along with emergency shelter, the rental assistance program. We continue to thank you for your support in both of these areas. As you know, Montgomery County has been the largest player of rental assistance in the entire county. So thank you again for supporting these efforts.
Thank you. Okay, we do have a few citizens signed up to speak. Let's start with Mary Miller. Mary, come on up. Good afternoon, Mary.
My name is Mary Miller. I live at 229 Colgate Avenue, Dayton, 45417. As I stated last week when I came, I definitely had comments about RTA and that I would search, didn't have to look far, to get adequate answers to some of the questions after I finished. Well, unfortunately, we have new issues with the Dayton school. And I went to the school board meeting yesterday at the Nicholas Road bus stop that Mr. Rosinski has implicated. It is a danger to the kids. There is no sidewalk. There is no concrete pad. The sign is even posted on a utility pole, which I think is against the law in the state of Ohio. You have to post it on an RTA pole. Mr. Rosinski is not thinking of the kids' welfare or safety. The school purchases bus pass from them at a premium, $10 per pass, more than what it is regularly sold. And for him to prohibit the kids from riding the school bus, it has taken the legislature's attention. So it was shared with me from Ms. Lolly, or Dr. Lolly, that they are talking to them about what is going on in Dayton. So everything I started to look for, I didn't get a chance to clarify it because I found all the new stuff. And at 3 o'clock, they will have a meeting at the RTA board on 4 North Main Street. So I hope anybody that can go can make it over there at 3 o'clock and see some of the results of what he's doing, because I invited the Spectrum News to join in, and it's just ridiculous what he's thinking the CEO meant. And before my time runs out, I would like for anybody that can get me a copy of his actual duties and his job as CEO and what the qualifications are. I'm asking this board, because I've asked that board for so many months and it hasn't happened. We're all curious to know, how far can he go and how long will the board turn a blind eye? Because we like to replace some of the board members and also rescind his tax revenue dollars from Montgomery County, because this is not service. This is an act of war against our kids. And if anyone gets hurt, I will be the first one to file a Civil Rights Commission complaint, because it's endangerment. There's no snow on the ground. What about the ice that comes? I don't know if you thought about it. I really don't care. It needs to be fixed. So I'm joining them at 3, so I have to leave you guys a little bit early, but I thank you.
Just real quick question.
Mhm.
You started talking about the stop, the new stop.
Mhm.
Where is that?
Okay, the school is set up so that the, I guess, gym or whatever sits right next to Nicholas Road.
Okay.
There's a field, and I mean it's a field, football-sized field, with nothing. He put the bus stop on that field, so when you come up Nicholas Road, past the little clubhouse there, you can't see anything until you pop up on the hill. And then you will see kids gathered for the bus.
I know where you're
So if any one of them gets hurt, I'm having him put up for child endangerment. Because if he can take their bus from in front of their school, and I think they got less than a week notice, he can be accountable for his actions, because they're getting silly.
Thanks for sharing with us.
Oh, I'll be
Good luck
back
at the
next week.
meeting. Be careful
Thank
going
you.
over there.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, next we have Mr. Willie Feaster. Willie, why don't you come on up?
Good. Willie Feaster. I must begin it. I'm gonna talk about the two women that were brutally murdered over here on the Shell station a couple weeks ago. This is to you, Michelle Daniels, and to you, Miss Felicia Brown. You can rest in peace knowing that the person, the suspect, is now in custody, locked up in the Montgomery County Jail for the brutal murder that he did to you two women. And hopefully, if he's found guilty, Mac Heck would give him 1,000 plus 1,000 years in prison. He should never walk the streets again in life. Next, to the Dayton Police Department, Major Johns and them. Y'all did a good job, man. Stand on this case, finding this person, holding responsible. Next, to the person that fled the scene that night, was sitting right there, heard them bullets, seen this, you took off. Shame on you people for doing that, man. Not one of you called 911. Shame on you. Third, the attendant that sit there in that cell, heard them bullets. Miss Zimmerman, heard the bullets, seen them people running, and not called, let them lemons sit out there for 3 hours with bullet holes in their head. And you had to see that. You've been part of that show. That is not a big show. How can you sit there, seeing that car at the pump, and you don't call 911? Them poor women sit out there, man, 3 hours, and he sit his butt up in there behind that glass and didn't even inquire, didn't even look, didn't even go out there. That's sad that a person would do that. But once again, I thank God they got him off the street. This person would have killed again. When you that brutal to sit behind somebody and blow their brains out, what could have caused this man to do that? Nothing in the world could justify the actions. Whew. and the person that came back with him, you should be held just accountable. You know what he did. You know he committed 2 brutal murders. Then you gonna come back and help him destroy the evidence? You should be given 100 years in prison. Yes, you should be given 100. Ain't no mercy for what he did to them women. No mercy for what he did to them 2 poor women, man. They did not deserve it. But I just thank God, man, he's off the street because he was ruthless. He was a killer, man. He would have killed anybody, and he would have killed again and again and again with that same gun until they apprehended him. He was never going to stop. And hopefully, Mac Heck, if he's found guilty, hold him accountable. Ain't no plea bargain. Don't beg for your life now, bro. Take these 1,000 years and go on about your business.
Thanks, Willie, for sharing that. That was very brutal and horrible, and thank goodness the Dayton police were on it. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, County Administrator, I know you have a lot you want to talk about.
Well, we've got some good news today, Commissioners. I'm sure you've had an opportunity to see our Wright Flyer, the third sculpture, at its new location on the corner of Edwin C. Moses Boulevard and West 3rd Street. And I'd like to thank you, not only for funding the sculpture, Commissioners, but for investing $576,000 to make it a really nice area. It's not just a sculpture that's going at a base in a corner there, but if you look at it, it's going to be almost a park. So it's going to be really, really nice. When the rest of the hardscaping, the landscaping, and the lighting is completed, which should be later on this month, it's going to be a really, really nice gateway to the Wright Dunbar Historic District. And our goal has always been, Commissioners, that you would see the sculpture and the gateway to historic Wright Dunbar from 75. And when we finish that lighting, you'll be able to do that. So I'd like to thank our team, led by Tyler and Phil at the time, and Jocelyn. This is a great project. And I'd also like to thank you, Commissioners, for your support.
Thank you, Michael. It is beautiful. You know, it's just so great. Once the lights are on it, you know, it doesn't even need the lights for it to be beautiful right now, but we can actually see it from this side, Paul's not here, but it just kind of caps off that beautiful bridge that Paul did. So we are really pleased with this. And we need to thank the Wright Dunbar Incorporated and the city of Dayton, because how long did we go with not knowing where we were going to do with it? It was quite a while. Where will this land? Where will we take this? Because the developer, you know, it's not that he didn't like it, it just didn't fit. And now you can see why, because there's now apartments there. But
Matt had it stored for us for a little while for safety.
Yeah.
Our Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, our
I
Matt.
mean, and that was a big thing. And so for the city and for Wright Dunbar to come together and give us the land, basically. So it's more than just a gateway. I think it's it's a real recognition of Dayton, Montgomery County, our innovation, and not just for aerospace, but it's just, I love it. So the neighbors in Wright Dunbar area are very happy about it. I've heard from several. It's just a very beautiful gateway. And I will say thank you to the commissioners at the time, because in 2001, in preparation for the 100th anniversary of flight, the commissioners commissioned this. It was Commissioner Vicki Pegg, Don Lucas, and Chuck Kern. And it was $165,000. That's hard to believe that it was only $165,000. But it was then proudly displayed at Riverscape for 20 years. And it was along that corridor that they call like the pathway of invention, all along
Right next
there.
to the Engineers Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't it look so much bigger now?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's on a platform, but the whole thing looks bigger, so I'm just really.
I've had people tell me that when
Yeah.
they're driving down Edward Moses or Third, it looks like it's coming out.
Yeah.
Like it's taking off, so.
It's really beautiful, and, you know, again, it just kind of caps off the whole area. You know, Wright Dunbar, so historical, and those of us that are here and lived here, we know why. But I think for guests that are, especially that are coming for our national park, I think it's just great. There also is a park, and I found this out a couple weeks ago, that the Oak and Ivy Park that is there on Edwin Moses, that park is dedicated to Dunbar. And I actually drove over there when I found out, just to see, and then there are, so now we have the Wrights and we have Dunbar. Of course, we have everything that's over the National Museum and then the Dunbar houses, so it's, you
A lot
know.
of history.
It's a lot of history, and it's one of those things I think we have to continue to try to capitalize on, because people like that kind of tourism. You know, they really do, and so I'm just really pleased that we have this beautiful icon now.
Yeah. And I know that when it was on Monument there, next to the Engineers Club, several times when I'd be driving by, people would be getting out of their car and going there and standing there, and they'd be taking their pictures standing there with the Wright brothers there at the plane. So it's really neat. And I know the neighborhood, like you said, and everybody is just gonna love it, especially when the lights come on and everything. So we have to give another shout out to Paul. Where did he go again? He left us. But have to give him a shout out because of that wonderful, wonderful 3rd Street Bridge. And that really incorporates the history of our county. And I know they just work so hard on that to make sure the Wright brothers and Paul Lawrence Dunbar, you know, that was, made sure that they were involved in their history on the bridge. So, and as you said, the people that live now in Wright Dunbar Village have got to just be thrilled with that. So, you know, it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful addition to West Dayton as you're coming off the bridge. So, congratulations again to us for doing this. I think it's great.
Well, I totally agree, and the only comment that I can honestly add is that it wasn't that long ago, December, that Montgomery County was designated by the National Park Service as Ohio's only American World War II heritage city. So that's pretty
That's big.
cool.
That's a big
And
deal.
what that signifies, the bravery and sacrifice of our men and women were critical to the country's war effort back in that day. And we are very much a military center still to this day, so we continue that tradition. But I think that, combined with the innovation of the Wright brothers and other Montgomery County citizens, really helped to push this area forward as a global leader in all kinds of different inventions that occurred here. So this is just a nice capstone, as they are definitely probably the most prominent inventors that we can think of. And I just think that adding to all your comments, that this truly is a celebration of that entire heritage. So it's wonderful for the community, it's a wonderful piece of artwork, and it's a huge reminder to all of us of the innovation that this area is known for. So we applaud that it's found its home and hopefully can stay put there for decades and decades to come.
We own the land, commissioners. This
So
will
it's not
have to
going
be-
to go anywhere.
That's right.
It's not going
Staying
anywhere.
there.
Also, commissioners, will be planning a official dedication in May.
Okay.
So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be planning that here soon and getting ready.
Let's make sure we invite Amanda Wright Lane.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I just thought of that, you
Yeah.
know. I'm sure would love to see
Yes.
this, if she
And-
hasn't seen it already.
McKinsey will be there
Yeah,
too from
they're
the
good
National.
friends.
And
Yeah.
so this is all coming together.
Great. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Carolyn. We did have a third person signed up to speak, and he had to leave, and I told him I would talk about what he was going to talk about. So Greg West was here, and Greg, one of his hats that he wears is as the founder and runs Felons with a Future. And he is doing, one of the initiatives of the Felons with a Future this year. They really want to reach out to young people and make sure they're keeping them on the straight and narrow. And so they're doing a day at the ballpark on May 18th. And he just wanted us to mention that because I'm reading what he said.
Well, they're looking for people to.
Sponsors, yes, sponsors.
Help them purchase tickets so that they can
Yes.
cover half of the cost. And looks like that the deadline is April 21st, so we have
21st.
6 weeks or
I'm sure
so.
he'll probably come again, and so perhaps we can put this website on our website to connect it. But I'm sure he'll be back, so just put that in everybody's mind. If you want to really help a child out, Dragons tickets are for sale.
Yep.
And it's hard to believe that
I know.
We're talking
baseball
about it
is
again.
going to be starting in like 3
Well,
weeks.
we got the first
Well,
four coming up.
First four's
Yes,
next week.
yep.
Yeah, we'll be
We're
in the thick of
excited.
it by
It's gonna
next
be- yeah,
Tuesday.
exactly.
And that's exciting, so that, yeah, a reminder about that. This weekend, Sunday morning is the 4-miler, and there
And
are.
they really need more people to
Yeah,
sign up.
I was gonna say, when I got an email late last night, please join us and bring your family to run. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be running at 9 o'clock Sunday morning. I will be there, but I don't think I'll be running, but, yeah, so that, and then the STEM, program that has just grown every year since we first started this 11 years ago. We started at CJ, and now it fills the convention center with exciting, different activities, basketball shooting, and Wright State, hopefully. Well, I don't know if
Aren't there
Wright
all
State's
kinds of
still doing that.
displays
Oh,
of-
STEMs displays, I mean, hands-on displays. It's
A
through-
family destination.
Yeah, it's through the whole convention center. So that is, kickoff is at 12:30 on Sunday. And then, of course, Sunday night, Selection Sunday. And then we find out which teams are coming here. And in about 12 hours, our Convention and Visitors Bureau and a whole team figure out which hotel are each of these teams going to. Let's get all the decorations, which they must have, closets full, storage rooms full of decorations.
Yeah.
And every color imaginable. And then we get a list early Monday morning of where the teams are going, and we try to go out and meet as many of the teams as we can.
And just welcome them.
And then Monday night, Carolyn has a schedule right here.
Right there.
Monday night is practices.
Handy dandy.
Open practices, and this is free to the public, Monday the 13th, 5 to 8. And so you can go watch the teams practice. And then there'll be practice on the Tuesday the 14th from 12 to 3. And then, of course, the games start that night at 6:40. And then games on Wednesday night as well. So
It's
gonna
a
be
fast
lot.
couple days.
Yeah, and the banners went up across the bridge. They look great. They Montgomery County welcomes basketball, the big hoopla, first 4. So it's an exciting week next week.
Yep.
There it is.
Okay.
All right, we're done.
We're done?
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody like to move to
I
adjourn
move to
us,
adjourn.
or? Okay, good.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll see you next Tuesday, March 14th,
Have a great week.
right here.